Okay, good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. We are live here this Sunday, December 1st. My name's Fola, and welcome to the channel. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been on here, made a video, really done a whole lot. There's been so many changes. We moved to a new place, and yeah, so bear with me as I know it's coming to the end of the year and people are returning to, I guess, the hibernation mode and solitude time. um, and yet there's something that's being brought forth, I feel, through me in this period. So new opportunities to be that sun, that energy of authenticity. So today, for our time together, we're going to tune into the energy of the new moon. And we'll pull some cards for the collective, kind of get a bit of a sense of what maybe is to show up for this month of December. And there'll be a chance for those of you who would like personal cards pulled to have those cards pulled. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about how crazy, that's really the word I would use, it's been over the past few weeks. So I'm not sure how it's been for you. I had talked about it on the channel before, but we've since entered into the energy of Aquarius, with Pluto entering into Aquarius. And I say that, and I hold up the star card because that's the star is tied to Aquarius. So there is something for all of us at this point for the next, I believe it's going to be until 2044. Maybe I'm off about that, but we're going to be in this energy. We've moved from Capricorn, which is the devil card, into this. And as a Scorpio, I can just say that the past few weeks have been very intense. Very, even I was just looking at the picture I took of myself for this card, and I was like, oh my gosh, that just is a perfect image of where I was over the past little bit. So we're cleaning things out. We're starting fresh, starting new. At least I am, I know for sure, but I feel like this is the case for many people. And the words that were coming through over the past couple of weeks were this, what's your wish fulfilled? No matter what you've gone through. I've had some things come up recently around money, owing people that I feel like I had a positive relationship with, who trusted me, with money, now owing this money. And it's brought up so much shame, and it makes me feel so icky. And I'm like, why and how did this happen? But this is what happens when you start doing magic, when you start exploring through ritual and different practices, ways to expand certain areas of your life, or just to expand your life in general, to expand your consciousness. I think of what Lon Milo Duquette says about, when people will ask, are demons real or angels real? And I believe it's usually to this question he responds that, everything is real. You just don't know how big your head is. And it's well, everything is existing. Everything is possible. This universe, this experience of life is so massive. And sometimes when we explore certain realms within ourselves, and I think this is why even my parents would be like, no, magic is bad, ritual or doing any of these explorations is evil. And it's well, I can kind of see why they say that, because it starts to open up doors that you don't really want to see. And for me, this past few weeks has been about shame. Oh, the deepest aspects of shame, tied to my worth, tied to money, and wanting to be perceived in a particular way, especially by those people that, look up to you, or that trust me, etc. So much there. But if it's your first time here, if you're returning here, I just thank you for being here today, to be curious enough to explore this work. And we're going to tune into the cards here for the collective for the month, so that we can get a sense maybe of some things to be aware of. If you would like personal cards pulled as well, at the end, we will do that. So let's just tune in to this energy of this new moon here now. Maybe just taking a few deep breaths as you center yourself. If you've been going through a difficult time lately, I know many people have been, myself included. I want to just invite you to just, recognize that that's been the case and just breathe it. Breathe it down into your belly so that it can just be present with you here. We're not trying to get rid of anything. We're just creating space for it. And this is the first card that's come out of the deck. Prosperity. I've contemplated what this looks like from this whole year. I would say I've made like the least amount of money, and yet I've had money. Like, it's bizarre. For this past year, there's something here about prosperity. It's like everything is kind of worked out in particular ways. In other ways, maybe not so much. Though I know there's stories being, lived out, or stories being resolved, and karmic paths being kind of experienced for many. But let's say for this month of December, I think I put it as envision. That was the word that came through initially when I was creating kind of the post for this live today. But this concept of prosperity, I said that about what are your dreams or your biggest wishes fulfilled. And if we think about what we're starting off with Pluto into Aquarius now at the end of November, so we have the star, and then we're entering into the end of the year of 2024, which is the strength card, which we're going to be talking about this week on the Exploring the Tarot Keys live on Wednesday. It's like this concept of prosperity during a time right now, I don't know about you, if you're noticing this much at all, but there's been a lot of advertisements, and like all the advertisements and postings of Christmas holiday time at this point are like, telling people to go out and buy, to go out and shop, to go out and explore the stores and what things they can purchase. So we've been kind of ingrained with this particular way of thinking. And I find it funny, I guess, like how the programming might be playing out right now to tell people to go out and spend money. And I guess I was saying that before is because when we think about what money is, or if we think about what prosperity can mean, and how, having money or not having money can mean a particular thing in our society, it's like we're breaking beyond that and envisioning a life beyond just that sort of thing. At the bottom of the deck, we have new beginnings. So we got this doorway. I love how there's the moon and the sun. These birds are kind of like, I would say it looks like they're flying towards the sun, and this beautiful waterfall in this landscape. But most importantly here, it's this portal. It's like we've entered into some new portal here. So let's pull some cards of the tarot on this for this month. So let's just see, how is it maybe going to start off, middle, and end? Start off. So we have the Tower. Oh, we have Strength itself. Okay. Those two came together. So I'm going to kind of lay them together. So, I mean, it's felt like this for sure, where, maybe this is a concept here that we're going to have a continuation. We're going to have a continuation of whatever this kind of disastrous experience has been since Pluto has done its work. Oh, okay. Well, let's just go like this. And then last, the ending. And it's about being strong. It's about tapping into that sun fire energy of Leo with the strength card, okay? No matter what's going on. Okay. And then we have the Hermit and the Page of Pentacles. I'll show you these in a minute. So it's almost like this is going to be the concept for the midpoint of the month. After everything kind of crumbles and maybe you've maintained this level of strength for yourself, Not sure if you could, but you learn very quickly that you have this like internal strength, this like resilience that has helped you to be able to overcome whatever this tower moment is at the beginning, or I want to say really it's been kind of just recent. Okay, it's been kind of perpetuating itself, building up, you know, like watching like 9/11 videos and stuff, you guys. It's funny how I like sometimes get to these like dark states and then I just have to like consume more darkness. That's just how I would perceive it to like feed the monster. I don't think there's anything wrong about that as long as you don't stay in it too long. Okay. But you know, thinking about like those videos, I hope I don't get like shadow man talking about this, but thinking about that, you know, like they didn't just fall, right? It took time. And sorry if this is like traumatizing for many of you. I don't know about your experience, you know, but it wasn't all at once, really. It was like a gradual over a little bit of a time. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the conspiracy of that whole thing. But I guess what I want to say around that is that your life is kind of like this too. It's not like it just happened instantly and everything crumbled. It's been like this continual thing. So you're having to continue building this fortitude, this like this strength to be able to withstand what is crumbling, what's falling, and you know, the tower usually represents the systems that kind of exist in which we find ourselves in. Some things that I've been hearing from other card readers on YouTube is like, just in general, our concepts of finances and money, the systems of these things are kind of like crumbling, you know, with Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. The same thing goes with like what structures maybe you've been a part of. For me, it was just completely walking away from my previous work as a psych nurse. So there's all these things, and it comes to us then finding new ways of being who we want to be, that authentic self again, right? And how best do we do that? Oh my gosh. I just got over a really bad flu, you guys. Like flu, upgrading of the physical body, like so badly. I was like having major chills. I've never had shaking during a fever before. It was interesting. Everything happens for a reason. But we have the Hermit and we have the Page of Pentacles, okay, the Page of Discs. And what I was going to say with that is, you know, how else can we learn who we are is by keeping in a form of solitude. And I love on these, on this deck in particular, the Hermit has on his staff a serpent winding its way up. So there's something here about internal wisdom coming through. Wisdom that's going to continue to add to your fire, okay? A deeper earthly wisdom, but also a deep spiritual wisdom that's going to like support you. Oh my goodness. To just add to this too, and I see there's people coming and going. If you'd like personal card pulls, you can let me know in the comments. We will get to those after this collective reading. The Hermit, with that snake, I just want to speak to how interesting, how the snake has been like damned in many different cultures and religions, and you know, has this evil connotation. But even Moses was guided to make or have people make that copper statue of the serpent to support with healing when the people of Israel were going through the Exodus. Okay. But something I'm just noticing is that there's another little lantern up here in the trees, but it's not lit. That's really interesting. It's almost like what happens sometimes during that hermity mode, it might be the case for some of you at the midpoint of this week when the dust sort of settles with the crumbling, is that it feels like there's no spirit, there's no guidance, there's anything that was maybe there before for you has just completely disappeared. And that can be so lonely. Like that's why it's the Hermit card. But what I'm seeing with this Page of Pentacles is I'm actually like seeing someone coming in. I don't know, like, yeah, maybe we'll pull some cards on that because I'm like legit seeing someone like coming into your life that might be a bit of like a support in the earthly realm, because the discs are that. So maybe it's even like you connect with a therapist, or there's someone that is a new relationship that you start to connect with. I'm going to just pull one more card for that because I want to, what is that? I feel like I'm supposed to use the chakra card. Let's see what this is. And then to end with the whole month, we have the Queen of Discs. So kind of like the, I want to say like the next stage from whoever this individual is or energy is of guidance that will eventually come, even though you feel like you're alone. Okay, what is this page? Discovery is the card we have. Yeah, so like, you know, what I'm kind of getting the sense like this could be like you feel like spirit's gone because that lamp is gone, and yet you're going to find that there's another spirit guide, that there's like some other energetic being that's going to feel so much more real. It might come through like a human individual though, because I'm really feeling like there's like an earthly humanness with this page of pentacles. It might be like they're like, and it's kind of like a messenger, I guess, is how I'm perceiving it. Like someone's going to be, possibly for some of you, there will be an earthly messenger bringing the knowledge of this spiritual guide that you will discover in this midpoint. It's got the full moon on there, so maybe it's around that full moon time. We're at the new moon, so that is at the halfway point, I guess, of the month. And it, fascinating. Like you might not be able to see it so well here, but it's like you got the black or the unlit lamp. Then you've got this disc that he's holding, and then you've got the full moon, all in like the same kind of corner of the card. So it's almost like it went from darkness to then an illumination. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Four of Swords. So like new thoughts kind of being formed here through the earthly connection of this matured Queen of Earth, you know, the Queen of Discs is how I want to perceive it. If we think about kind of like the progression through the tetragrammaton, through those 4 layers of like king, queen, the page knight is how I perceive it, or the prince, and then the princess. There's this movement of father, mother, son, daughter, right? And so even if we think about the world of Binah, the mother energy on the tree of life, how it then bursts into the 4th sphere of Chesed, which we could say is linked to this 4 of Swords. There's definitely, you know, an expansive energy there with Jupiter. We have air with the sword card. So, I mean, we could say that it'll be an expansiveness of the prosperity, which is overall, but it's going to be an expansiveness also of your, interesting, your expansiveness of your consciousness, okay? I'm not going to say that right now. Oh my gosh, my throat is just like doing a thing. We're going to pull one of these angel cards for the collective. It's like, ooh, these want to come out today. Maybe something, oh my gosh. What's something that maybe needs to be said? Something for us to be aware of for this month of December. Obstacles and blocks are lifted. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles, and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. You know, there might be different opinions on this archangel. Not sure what the book says. I would say it's Archangel. It could be, I would say it's Archangel Michael, but with the sword, we could put it in the east with Archangel Raphael, potentially. Maybe it's Lucifer. I don't know. But Archangel Michael to me is often one I'll tell my daughter to like call upon to help with like cutting anything away, or, you know, creating a sense of protection from anything that might be too overwhelming or negative. And so perhaps for you for this month, as an extra guided support, calling in this archangel and remembering, like it says, through gratitude that, you know, the obstacles are lifted. Like you've been doing the work. If you're here, you've been doing the work. And just because we do the work doesn't mean that life is perfect. That's one thing I can tell you. You know, we're all human. And for many of us, we're meant to be kind of like teachers or, oh, why is there one flipped already inside? The one flipped inside is wishes come true. Okay. Oh my goodness. See, I wasn't sure. Should I come on here? But we're going to get through it. You might just have to deal with my constant clearing today. Obstacles and blocks are lifted. Things are clearing. But I just wanted to add to that, that when we recognize, you know, with gratitude, just that everything is working out. Like think back across this whole year. That's what I've been doing. It's just reflecting on like, wow, like look how my life played out. Like I was doing what I wanted to do. I wrote a book, which if you aren't already aware of, like I have the book out on Amazon. The link is down below in the description. This is about the 72 names of God. It's a magical grimoire and a way you can start to tap into those 72 aspects of the divine to create shifts in your life. Really profound. Like I published this, well, self-published, I guess, completed it. It's out. You know, I got to work from home and I created content. I created music. I've like just been doing things and connecting with people and really diving into myself. And I have gratitude for that. And I hope that you can look back in your life and see over this past year how that strength, because it's been the strength year, 2024, how have you been tapping into that constantly? And it hasn't just been you, even though maybe it sometimes feels like it's been you. You've had these guides, these supports, these angels to be with you. So there's this card here of perseverance, okay? This has been a very intense year for many people. I'm like seeing it even more now. I'm getting texts and emails constantly from people looking for prayer and like support, Reiki, you know, because like there's loved ones dying. People are going through so many difficulties. I have two people that I know closely who just recently were in car accidents on the same day. Like, you know, it's like spirits really testing us, it seems, this year. That's what I would say. And we have to have the motivation to keep going despite the odds, as the card says. So how are you persevering? Okay. And you will persevere is what I feel like that says. Oh my God. And at the bottom of the, oh my God, where is it? Wishes come true. That was at the bottom. Rapid achievement of your dreams and wishes. And I think that's because we're at the star phase of this Pluto being now in Aquarius. Is there anything else that we need to say? I feel like we need to pull one of these symbol cards for the month. For the collective. Which card will it be? Growth. Well, I feel like this is a familiar face for us, the growth card. So the spiraling energy. And I often see this as just entering into like the womb. You know, there's certain ritual where we will maybe like draw on the belly going towards it. I think a lot of like pregnant mothers do this during different types of like newborn or maternity photos. You could do that yourself, you know, use your like moon's blood or some other form of like salve or something that you create. You know, you could use dirt. You could use gold flecks. Just don't wash that off in the bathtub because that's such a mess to clean after, I tell you. But the growth card, there's something here about growth, about us really persevering to expand beyond these odds and trusting that even though life maybe is not working the way we thought it was going to work, everything is happening for a reason. And it's really, I think, so we can discover ourselves more. And there's a card just sitting here. Okay, yeah. So this is like, what is it? Karmic path. I just saw Saturn and I was like, oh God. Um, Interesting that that would be sitting there, because to me, it's like some things happen because I think they're supposed to happen. And what I'm learning in the situation, particularly with these women that I feel like I had a positive relationship with, and now I'm in this weird financial situation with, because of my own doing, really, is like I actually self-sabotaged myself in that scenario. I didn't want to continue doing that work. I needed to completely wash away from my old life, but I like didn't want to say no. And I, again, grieving, letting go of the old is hard. So it was like such a teacher. That's what Saturn is, the teacher. We have that present with Bina here with the Queen. There's definitely like a very karmic energy that's taking place right now. But there's new beginnings of prosperity, of abundance, of obstacles, and being lifted so that we can persevere completely in our strength, and so that our wishes can come true. So what are those wishes? It was mentioned somewhere to write down, what are your biggest wishes, your wildest fantasies? Write those down, journal them. Don't doubt them. Okay. And return back if you would like more support. I have till the end of the month, actually, if you want a personal, like, emailed reading to you, it would be an audio reading. You can reach out, go to actually, I think the link's in the description. Otherwise, it's on the channel. You can go to my website, folaveritas.com, and check out the shop section, and book yourself or purchase a reading and maybe get some guidance for yourself personally. But now we're going to go into actual personal readings for a little bit here, as much as I can fit. So if you would like cards pulled, you can let me know. And we're going to, let's just do a little centering maybe. You guys see me and I maybe seem like really bright. I definitely will tell you that I was not very bright the past like few weeks, with moving, stressing about life, trying to deal with the things that have been showing up, but feeling like just like a loser and like so much shame. Like I said, it's like just a lot of shame, which to me was tied to past like sexual trauma, which I was, of course I'm like, well, this is why this is happening. I didn't think that those things were related, but now I see how and why they are. Okay, thank you. Like, I didn't really want to learn this way. It never goes the way we want, I suppose, but that's okay. Okay, so if you'd like a personal card, you can let me know in the chat. But for now, let's just tune into that energy of that growth. Just taking a few deep breaths, maybe having your eyes closed as you connect to that internal world. Maybe intending for your heart to slow down, your breath to slow itself as well, your body to relax and come into a point of stillness. You can almost see that when the moon goes into this new moon formation, that it's like it disappears. It takes its own pause. It recognizes the power of being present and also of being absent. So just imagining that the moon, it's somewhere, but it's hidden at this point. And in that message of hiding, just allowing yourself to receive whatever insights wish to come. I feel like the message coming through here is that you think you know what the cycles are meant to be like in your life, but only God knows how long or how short a time will be. So can you just learn to trust your personal cycle? When is it that you become full and bright? And when is it that you are absent, hidden? So whatever energies might be in the heart space, in the heart field, we're just going to ask the angels to support with clearing, connecting to that space. But of course, during any of this process, if you don't want to receive any of the energy, just set that as an intention. When I'm going to invite you here to imagine this triangle pointed upwards, the fire triangle of spirit in your heart space. And it burns red, bright in your heart, this upward pointing triangle of fire, spirit, Shem. And now merging with that is the downward facing triangle, the blue triangle of water. So it begins to merge with this fire upward pointing triangle. Red and now a blue triangle merging to make a 6-pointed star. And that forms in your heart space. And with these two merged now, they start to glow with a bright golden light. Some other color perhaps that begins to form for you and creates the whole hexagram inside of you, the 6-rayed star. Burning brightly in your heart space, in your chest. This merger of fire, spirit, and this matter, water. And this is also considered that chariot, that Merkaba, the energy that supports you, your light body that can be used as a vehicle to move across planes, to move through life, to walk with purpose. So trusting that this activation in your heart space will be exactly what needs to be to support you with moving through your life this month, through the cycles of being hidden and being seen, of the in-between, of any of that. Thank you, angels, for being present on all the 4 directions. Thank you, ancestors, for your support, loving, kind guidance. Awakening those connections for each individual here those watching live, those watching the recording. And for anyone else out there who is feeling that desire to connect with you, may they trust that it'll all be made known this month, to envision what that connection could be like, what it might feel like. Yeah, interesting. It's taking a deep breath in and letting it go. As you just return here, letting the image of all that just release. So if anyone would like personal cards, well, maybe there's no pulls today. That's fine with me. I just come on here to do things and share. But sometimes it's just not necessary, you know? Oh, there we go. Whew. Anyway, something that was just kind of coming through there. We're entering into 2025, which is going to be the Hermit year. So it's interesting how we had Strength at the bottom, and then we had Hermit kind of at the top there. And I really don't know what that's going to look like. We'll get into cards, again, like card pulls, card readings aren't about telling the future. These are just about possible outcomes or possible paths that we could take. Again, you get to choose where that path leads you or which one you go, how you want to live your life. But I just kind of am contemplating like, wow, like we're really stepping into, what the Hermit is right before the Wheel of Fortune, which will be 2026. It's like that internal disappearance to grow. And I've been like contemplating that energy lately of many, many great, influential, some more positive than others, who've disappeared and went into solitude, went just like no one knows or knew where they had gone to. And they returned back into society and they had completely transformed. They were whoever that they had become. And so whatever might be going on for you, whatever isolations might be taking place, there are reasons for all of that. It's so that you can connect to spirit, to God, to the divine, to this like inner knowing that exists inside you that you may not listen or hear until you pause and become more silent. I had a weird experience the other night. Usually if I take like THC, I'll mix it with CBD. That's legal here in Canada. So I don't know where you might live and how cannabis is held in regard, but I ended up having like a very intense experience, I think because it was only THC. And I started to realize like the workings of my brain, my thought patterns. And it was very intense. But it was like this realization of like how I operate. And the reason I'm saying this, I think, is because like I just want to speak to just kind of where I've been like kind of fasting or cutting out certain things in my life that are like pleasurable things. In this case, it's been music, listening to music. I love listening. I'm usually like always listening to something. If not like singing it, humming it, creating it on my own. But I had decided like for a couple weeks, I'm going to just like not listen to Spotify, not listen to any music, and just use like the silence. And during this journey, I had like this profound realization that like, oh, there's constantly like music in my head. And it was like weird, but it's like, oh, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't have created the silence or the pause. So, you might find yourself exploring ways in which you kind of seclude yourself, isolate yourself, hermit yourself. Because I feel like seclusion and isolating kind of have these like really negative words, Though for some people, that's what it takes, right? Like what people who go to jail. Like how many amazing occultists even have like spent time in jail. And that was where they woke up to whatever. Like I said, I hope that doesn't happen. I think there's other ways to, use that, but that's some people, again, karmic path, life path. What is it that your teaching moments have in store for you? So just trust, I guess, the process of what's showing up for you. And if you need extra support with any of that at any point, use the community here on YouTube. Like, come to these lives, check in, be commenting on videos and posts and things like that. Share vulnerably as you feel comfortable, obviously, because it's on the internet, about what's going on for you. Open up to someone you trust. I work with people one-on-one. If you'd like to schedule a soul alchemy session, you can do that. And I think the link's in the description as well. But something that really completely changed my life again is this working with the Shem Hamefresh, the 72 names of God. And this book is really just like a practical working on ways you can connect to each of the names. It gives you kind of like the step-by-step of how you do that using meditation. And it gives you different insights about what the names are, how they can support you with whatever you might be going through. And to me, like I mentioned at the beginning, magic can like open doors and new understandings about yourself, some that you may like and some that you may not like. But that's okay. This is part of the evolution of humanity, of your personal consciousness. So if you'd like to check this out, the link's also in the description. I might be biased, but like to me, the Shem Hamefresh working, like connecting with these 72 names over the past, 5 years it's been, has just really shifted my life for the better, more into who I am authentically as this human on this planet. So yes. Okay. Well, I guess there's no card pulls today. Sending you all the love, the blessings. If there are any prayers that you would like held up, feel free to leave those in the chat, in the comments. Send me an email. And may you have a lovely December. Until the next time.